Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us at the Spiritist Talk series, which is promoted by the United States Spiritist Federation every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I am delighted today to host this talk by Marcial Barros, who'll be talking about the Spiritist Center of the 21st century. Marcial, I'm super curious because this is a topic that speaks to me specifically, and I'm sure it's going to speak to many of us who are here today in this live.
Oh,
I want to
Marcial,
just
I'm sorry.
hello. Yeah, that's okay. I want to
Yeah,
say let's give all of us here, Marcial, this very warm welcome. And before you start, I want to just give a little bit of a small bio for those who may not know him. So, Marcial Gomes Barros, he is speaking to us. What city in Portugal you were speaking?
Lisbon. From
Lisbon, beautiful, beautiful Lisbon. But Marcial, he has been a student of Spiritism since a child, and he is currently the coordinator of the Spiritist social communication area of the International Spiritist Council and of the doctrinal communication and communication area of the Portuguese Spirits Federation, FEP. He is also the founder and vice chairman on the board of directors of the association. No Invisible. I
New
don't know.
Invisible.
No invisible in the
Invisible.
invisible. Exactly. So sorry, I'm thinking half Portuguese, half English, didn't go anywhere. So he is the founder and vice chairman of the board of directors of the association No Invisível, and which is the Associação de Estudos e Divulgação Espírita, which roughly translated would be associations of studies as well as the promotion of Spiritism in Lisbon. Please take the opportunity to send your comments, your questions, any thoughts during the presentation using the chat window because Marcial will spend some time to address your comments and we really appreciate them. Marcial, thank you so much and the mic is yours.
Oh, first of all, Marcia, thank you for the warm welcome. I do apologize just for starters of my English. Sometimes it can be a little bit rough, but I would like to take the opportunity first to thank USFF, the USFF, the United States Spiritist Federation, for the invite to actually the name you gave to this project, to the way you deliver the contents of Spiritism on the internet, calling it a talk and not a presentation or not a lecture. I do believe it's already a symptom that the opportunity we are now facing to understand how to talk about Spiritism already in the 21st century. We were actually used towards throughout the years because of our experience in several religions of having always a person on a pulpit or a podium talking about what could relate us to God itself. And to talk about Spiritism, I do believe that we need to once again return to our roots while we were at Greece, probably, talking about what philosophy would bring us to connect to God, to understand ourselves. So, calling it a talk, making it more personal, I think it helps us to connect more directly to the persons who listen to us. And honestly, I think it takes us more deeply into thinking on what we are here as human beings to serve to one another. In our case, the understanding that life continues, and there is hope, no matter the pain, no matter the problems we may be facing right now. But talking about the Spiritism Center of the 21st century, I took the opportunity to bring this first passage of Matthew, of Jesus in Matthew 18:20, when he says, "For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them." So we need we need to understand what actually Jesus wanted to mean with these words, because we can be all together in a place, we can be all together in a rock concert, we can be all together in a football stadium, but we're talking about being together in a Spiritist Center. Of course, we can do our studies at home and enlighten ourselves alone in the middle of our room. But the thing is, when we do it together, there is a communion of thoughts. And the communion of thoughts brings power to the energy we are actually irradiating, not only towards ourselves, to the ones next to us, but also to the spiritist world, so the spiritual world. Spirits that are next to us are feeling our thoughts being all together in one, with one perspective. And this is what actually, there's a very interesting speech that Allan Kardec does on the commemorative session of the Day of the Death. This speech is published in the Revue Spirit, so the Spiritist magazine, on the 11th year, December 1868. And it's the commemoration, it's the inaugural speech on the commemoration of the death, which happened 1 month before. And it's first thing that it's interesting. Allan Kardec had the speech written. Nothing was done that was not thought beforehand. All the messages he wanted to give us were already thought of. He had planned what to say. He had consulted the spiritual world to understand what would be the best way to bring us his informations. And this speech is actually very interesting, and it's called "Is Spiritism a Religion or Not?" And I think, oh, so Marcial is talking about the Spiritist Center of the 21st century, and now he brings a message from Kardec about is Spiritism a religion or not. But what this first part of his talk is very interesting for us to understand actually what I was saying before, where he says, through the communion of thoughts, people assist one another, and at the same time, they assist the spirits, and they are assisted by them. The relationships between the visible world and the invisible world are no longer individual. They are collective. And for this reason, they are more powerful for the benefit of the masses as well as for the individuals. In a word, it establishes solidarity, which is the foundation of fraternity, Each one does not work only for themselves, but for all. And by working together, each one finds their own reward in it. This is what egoism fails to comprehend. So, this, when we think about these words of Allan Kardec, uh, we actually find a way to understand that the Spiritist movement is not um, a movement of individualities, is a movement of us that decided to understand that, well, we now understand that we are only bigger ourselves if we work together with the one next to us. Actually, what Jesus came to say 2025 years ago, when he was talking about us loving each other, and that our next one is no longer the one at our house, is no longer the one in our family, no longer the one in our neighborhood, our city, our country. We need to start understanding the next one to us like the entire humanity. And this is the thing, or the thought, that will I am trying to bring to this talk with you today, is that the Spiritist Center of the 21st century no longer has halls. Just see it. I'm in Lisbon, trying to speak in English, and I do apologize for tremble the voice sometimes. Um, and but everyone in the world can be listening to me if they find interesting the subject we're discussing here today. Um, so actually, and I'm from my home, actually not from the Spiritist Center, not from the Spiritist Federation. I'm from home. So actually, what we're doing here is extending the walls of a Spiritist Center to my place, from Portugal to the United States, to the entire internet community. When we combine our wills to work like that, we are working on a Spiritist Center of the 21st century. But when Allan Kardec envisaged the first Spiritist centers, the the Paris Spiritist Society, he rooted it in the principles of study, fraternity, and spiritual growth. The Spiritist book, in Spiritist book, Kardec established Spiritism as a philosophical, scientific, and moral system aimed to understanding the nature of spirits and their relationship with the material world. The Medium's book emphasizes that the importance emphasizes the importance of organization and method. Organization and method. He outlines the need for structured meetings, systematic studies, and focus on moral development. The Spiritist Center is in this context becomes a laboratory of spiritual progress where individuals collaborate to uplift themselves and others through the practice of charity, the study of spiritual laws, and the development of mediumship in a disciplined and ethical manner. Our mission in the 21st century must be built upon these historical foundations. We cannot forget them. We need to be organized. We need to have a method. We need to think on the enlightenment of each one of us as working in the Spiritist Center, as attending to the Spiritist meetings, as going um, to the fluido therapy, or any kind of activities where we are currently attending to, relating to Spiritism. There's an interesting message from Kaibara Shooter. Kaibara Schutel was a pharmaceutical in Brazil that is responsible for most of the dissemination of Spiritism throughout the entire Brazil country. And as a spirit, he still works with the communication area. And he has a very, very, very important message received at FEB, at the Brazilian Spiritist Federation, in June 2018, talking about the Spiritist Center. And it calls it, it reinforces the idea of the Spiritist Center also being this spiritual hospital, where in a world as we are today, where many are suffering from emptiness, anxiety, despair, the focus, one of the focus of the Spiritist Center must be offering a solace, a guidance, and if possible, a healing um, from the knowledge we get with the Spiritism, understanding the Spiritism. But what would be, how can we do it when we are in a Spiritist Center? We need to have, first of all, one before. First of all, we need to understand what is our mission. What is the mission of the Spiritist Center? And Kaibar Shooter in that message say it is an hospital, a school, and a temple. Spiritism is the condition of balance in our existence. It's time to think about our spiritual living. This change in perspective implies a review, not of a corrective nature, but a progressive one, of the collective work, commitments of the institutions dedicated to the Kardec cause. So, in this message, which I will bring some other extracts of it, it says that we need to be, all the activities need to be aligned, always aligned with what Allan Kardec proposes in his amazing works that he has given us. Not only the 5 books we end up with that builds the entire doctrine body, as we said. Probably the translation is not my best one, but it's the entire doctrine lies upon those five books. But it's more than that. It's also everything that he has done throughout 11 years, compiling the Spiritist magazine, the Revue Spirit. And all those articles are just a way for us to understand first how Allan Kardec ended up compiling after the edition, the first edition of the Book of Spirits, how Allan Kardec ends up um, correcting on the second edition of the Book of Spirits, compiling the information that comes in the Book of Mediums, the Gospel according to Spiritism, the Heaven and Hell, and the Genesis. The Genesis. So all those 5 books are based on all the communications, all the changes, the talks he was having in the Spiritist magazine. So if let me just do here any let me just invite you all, if you have the ability to go and read it in the Spiritist magazine, the Revue Spirit, please do it. Nowadays, the International Spiritist Council is continuing that work. We have for the last 5 years been editing the Spiritist magazine, the Revue Spirit, in 7 languages, with actually with any thoughts or any works about how Spiritism nowadays is seen by society, by people that are working in universities, by people that have been researching historically about the Spiritism, about religion itself. So we continue, we're trying to continue to work as Allan Kardec was doing it. We need to be, it's a huge team. It's a huge team. For us to get to a small fraction of what Allan Kardec was bringing to us all as humanity, we need to be a group of people. We need to be, it's not only the editorial side of things, it's all the writers, all the translators, everyone. We need to be in sync together, working with the objective of keep on bringing the Spiritist doctrine the best way we can. We in so, but the Spiritist Center, although it needs to be focused on the Spiritist doctrine, of course, we need to understand that we need to welcome everyone. We need to have this welcome atmosphere and fraternity, not only between us workers, but towards the ones who get to the Spiritist Center. We see the Spiritist doctrine teaches us to see the other as our brothers, the other as our equal. When we say it's our brother, is that it's our equal. It's not on a higher position. It's not on a lower position. It's our equal. It's a human being. Be that what he wants to be. Our proposal when we get to the Spiritist doctrine as a worker on a Spiritist center is to be able to extend with our understanding, current understanding of what love is, what Jesus brought us, is to extend it to the ones that arrive to the Spiritist Center. So if we can understand it a little bit better than the ones commonly on the street, what it is to be a human being, what it is to be a spiritual being with a body, but of a nature that extends all creeds, all sexual inclinations, all colors of skin, ethnicities, political parties, whatever. We need to understand that we are all going towards a position where we will be living on in a better world. We will be living in a better world, but only if we start by having this fraternity, this brotherhood between everyone. Brotherhood. We are brothers and we are equals. So, organization, welcoming atmosphere, and fraternity. Two important fundamental steps on or layers on a Spiritist Center. But actually, a Spiritist Center is a step forward from when we start to study Spiritism at our places. So we build an institution. An institution is governed by laws of the country where it is. In US, you will have specific laws that you need to attend. In Portugal, we have some laws we need to attend to, and we need to work with it. But most of all, and those are mandatory for us. We cannot get out of that because it's actually one of the things that was, I don't know if it happened in US, but here in Portugal, in some cases it was happening when we had the COVID outbreak a few years ago in circa 2021. Some of the Spiritist Center were trying to say, oh, we have spiritual coverture, so we have the blessings of the high spirits, so we don't need to worry about that, and we will keep on receiving everyone without taking any precautions. But the problem is, the state itself created some laws that prevented any connection, any situation where people could be together, so that the spread of the disease could not be increased. And then we as a Spiritist Center, we need to understand that we need to comply with those laws. We need to comply. Otherwise, the Spiritism as a movement, not as the doctrine that it's way above us. Nothing will hurt Spiritism. Spiritism is well settled by the high spirits. It's a body of sorry. It's a philosophical understanding of the nature and reality that surrounds us. Nothing will hurt it. But the movement, the Spiritist movement, is in our hands. And the way the world sees Spiritists is of our responsibility. So we need to comply with all the rules. We need to comply in a Spiritist Center. We need to have transparent governance and clear decision making processes. We cannot have a Spiritist Center still based on one person decision, the other ones follow. This is exactly what Spiritism came for humanity to fight. It's one more opportunity humanity have to understand what Jesus brought to us, the teachings. And before Jesus, what Socrates brought to us, what Moses brought to us. God is giving us one more chance. And this one, the one that Spiritism brings, is one that appeals for our rational thinking and is to truly understand what Jesus wanted us to do, wanted for us to achieve our best version of us. Sorry. So, beside transparent governance in a Spiritist Center, we need to be efficient and integrity. And NGOs actually, I bring the creation of committees to oversee the specific aspects of the Spiritist Center mission. It's because this is a thing that NGOs normally do. And probably it's something we should all learn about it. We, the ones who are responsible for a Spiritist Center. Because every now and then, because the board of Spiritist Center is made of people, and we do have our highs and our lows. We're humans. We're still not perfect spirits. So we need to understand that we are. Sometimes we will fail, even when we try to do our best. Sometimes we'll not be doing the best we could do for everyone. And this is what this kind of committees can do. They can go throughout what we're doing in the Spiritist Center. We decide, oh, this person that will are not a part of the board of directors, but actually they are knowledge of Spiritism, and they know the bylaws that rule this Spiritist Center, uh, to see if what we are doing complies with that mission, with that objective that we decided to be the one that would guide the Spiritist Center when we created one. And there's one extra point that we need to take care of. We need to use the technology to modernize the administrative processes, to enhance transparency, to encourage participation, and to provide a platform for feedback and engagement of everyone that attends, everyone that has a doubt about Spiritism, about Spiritist, the doctrine itself, or the movement itself, and how to collaborate, and how we can help or assist any person that comes to the Spiritist Center. So transparent governance, efficiency, and integrity. That one is it's easy to understand, and the creation of committees, I think it will help. But and the usage of technology. There are some other points here that are actually very important, but we can go afterwards on the Q&A time, because there are laws that we need to comply, like the personal data information, all of that, and it goes a bit on the opposite side, that at least here in Portugal, things were done that you would keep like a document where we would receive any message about the problems people had, and we kept the Spiritist Center would kept those. And nowadays, with all the RGPD kind of legislation, we can no longer use it. So there are still some laws we need to comply with. And now we come to that thing that differs from every other institutions in our country, is the mediumship. Mediumship is the cornerstone of the Spiritist practice, but we actually need to approach it with discipline and integrity. We need to understand that, as Kardec puts it on the Book of Mediums, we need to have methodical preparation, clear ethical guidelines, and collective responsibility in mediumistic practices. Allan Kardec warns against the sensationalism and underscores the spiritual purpose of mediumship, which is to provide moral guidance, consolation, and enlightenment. Mediumship, I will say it again, to provide moral guidance, consolation, and enlightenment. We need to understand it. Every time we use uh, the spectacle of a mediumship event, we are contributing for a mystification of Spiritist itself. The Spiritist doctrine came as a rational, philosophical understanding of the understanding of the relationship between the spiritual world and the spiritual world with body, the material world, let's say it like that, in such a way that we can no longer keep it mystical. It's not an not of this world thing. It's the natural thing. Mediumship is a natural thing. Allan Kardec puts it with no hesitation. Everyone that in any case or on any situation feels the feels the any approach of the spirits, any thoughts that are not his is a medium. So as all, we are mediums. So we need to treat mediumship and with a very, 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 very tight and disciplined and manner. We need to make it such a role in the Spiritist Center that people that are working as mediums, that have that ability to be able to receive message that will help others, that can work as a medium of helping the spiritual world getting closer to the people that are reincarnated. They need we need to think that it's a task, it's a job that requires integrity, that requires continuous study, so that we no longer we are no longer able not to understand when the spirit that is approaching us, that is will, that will that is approaching us, that conscience is not ours, is one that comes with different intentions, and we need to understand if they're good, they're good. If they're bad, we need to understand that we as mediums, we need to work not to give way of those thoughts to be expressed. We need to cooperate with the spiritual world, with the high spirits of the spiritual world. That is our role as mediums working on a Spiritist Center. Understanding the Spiritist doctrine, our role is to be as Francisco Cândido Xavier puts it in the book, Os Mensageiros, Messengers, that we need to be responsible, and we need to be prepared constantly to be a medium, to work in mediumship with the most as the most humility, dedication, and to be completely aligned with the higher spiritual purposes. We need always, always to work and to study, looking for as to be a medium between the higher spirits and us, and understand that the first ones to have the first one that will benefit from a message is the one who is serving as a medium, because he will understand first, he will understand it on his soul. The communication is done soul to soul, and then the medium's body will extend that message, be that by writing or by voicing it or by seeing it. But the first one to have the benefits of getting together with a higher spirit is the medium himself. So that is his task, and the task of the Spiritist Center to foster for it. The Spiritist Center board of directors needs to be always aware that the mediums that work in the institution are kept on a path of study, and also of social engagement. We're not, by being a medium or by being a spiritist, that doesn't take us out of society. Actually, it does bring us into society. It brings an extra layer of responsibility to work with the society. So the medium must be that one that goes and provides comfort and healing, yes, in the Spiritist Center, doing throughout the Spiritist reunions, the mediunic reunion, sorry, where you'll receive messages or do the fluidotherapy, the pass, as we say it in Portuguese, and it's important, of course, but it needs to promote to the medium an ethical living. It needs to share the medium needs to share spiritual guidance to everyone towards throughout his example, the way he lives with integrity, with kindness, with compassion, but it also needs to support the collective progress. He needs to bring the idea. Spiritism is an ideal of a better society, of a better man, of a better condition as a spirit. It takes us out of our condition as being in a world of trial and error to a regeneration world, one only to be in a perfect world when us all, as a humanity, the spirits living around the planet Earth or any other planet, to be those spirits that see each other as a loved one, no longer as an enemy, no longer as another with a different idea of his, that he needs to be fought. We need to understand that our role as spiritists, and very, 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 very important role for mediums, that they see, that we see our task in the Spiritist Center and our task in the world, our job in the world, is to bring this kind of comfort, healing, and hope of a better world. If we bring hope to people, they will forget the pain, they will forget the problems, and they will solve it. Problems won't stop to exist. Spiritism is not a pill you take to solve the problems. Spiritism gives you the understanding that when we say everything comes for a reason, it's not for a reason. It's two things: for a reason in the past, and for a reason to the future. Everything that comes to us, that happens to us, is a chance we have to do the right choice for our future, for our present, and for our future. We understand our life as a whole. We no longer understand our life as the present. We see it as the past, the present, and the future. We live the present in such a way. We need to live the present in such a way that our future becomes a brighter one, and not one still full of things we need to work for, to solve problems we need to solve. But what I was saying in the beginning is that the mission of a Spiritist Center is one of education, and the mission education is the cornerstone of any Spiritist Center. On that message, I was saying of Kabbalah Shooter, the ones I'm having this text. It says that first we must listen to the message given by the spirits in the incomparable synthesis of the codification. May the Spirit School invest in forming a Christian thought that is free of the constraints of sectarian dogmatism, so as to commit the being of the ideal of true the liberation, the understanding and living of our immortal nature. We must strengthen the study of the codification so that it remains the fundamental foundation of life's lessons. Life teaches, Spiritism explains. We will not be taught by Spiritism, but Spiritism will explain us why it's happening, what is happening. How can we make a right choice for the future, being able to work in the present? Uh, it's a this this phrase is now one of the life teachers Spiritism explains, is now a campaign from the Spiritist Brazilian Spiritist Federation campaign, which is actually very well um, taken from this text. And we every Spiritist center needs to have a community engagement. Sorry, we need to broaden, says Gavar Schutel. We need to broaden the boundaries of the Spiritist hospital by translating the consoling message into a remedy for humanity. You don't put a lamp under the bushel. Spiritist literature is a wellspring of consolation, but it is our duty to distribute its healing power to those of the spirits who lack the strength to approach the hospital of the soul. To enlighten the soul is to kindle a flame of happiness. Spiritism illuminates. So, when a few slides above, I was talking about using the technology, as we are doing here today. We may not have many people attending to this live now or to any live now, but actually it's kept on YouTube, it's kept on in such a way that people that are sometimes we don't know in despair of something that happened, be that the loss of a child, of a parent, of loved one, be that a huge problem on their life. Let us work in such a way that we create a community of a network of Spiritist workers that can go and serve as a way to help those who suffer. That is our main objective. As that know a little bit more about life itself, or the way spiritual world works, we need to work with for the good of everyone, not for only the ones in our neighborhood, for the goodwill of everyone. And I'm conscious of the time, which is passing way too fast, and I wanted just to bring us a few. Just this slide. I'll bring you this slide to, and we'll hand up here so that we can go to the Q&A. There's a call to action nowadays for every single Spiritist center. We need to work as if we were already in a regeneration world. We no longer have the opportunity. We're losing time if we keep on understanding ourselves as workers of a Spiritist center in a world of um, trial and error, provas e expiações. We need to be workers. We need to um, educate workers, work with the youth, engage the youth to be with us all the time, working as the ones who are preparing, who wants to live already in the regeneration world. If we work with that aim, we will be sooner, rather sooner than late, in that specific kind of humanity. So let us do this upshift of society by our example, by our understanding of life itself as a succession of reincarnations, understanding that we are all in different levels of understanding what Jesus told us, but we have one objective. We will be happy. We will be perfect. We are perfectable. I sorry for my English. We are able to achieve some kind of perfection. So let's work with that. I was listening to the 18th symposium you had this year, and when we talk about engagement of youth, I was listening to the panel of Bia and the younger adults, as she put it, um, and see what they brought to the symposium. How to understand Spiritism in the real life. In the real life. How we understand Spiritism, how it helps us to live in the real life. So let's be us that are young for a long time now, and have some responsibility in the Spiritist Center. Be able to invite the young ones to work with us, to work with us. Having a panel only of youth is one step. Next step, for sure, will be mingle all you youngsters and elderly and adults all together talking about Spiritism. The only way, the only way we have to have a Spiritist movement that is strong enough to withstand any kind of combat is for us all to be together, young, adults, the elderly ones, working together in communion with the same objective. Not for We cannot forget that next time we will reincarnate on earth. If we're not uh, perfect spirits, which most of us, I will understand that we are not, as it's my condition. When I reincarnate again, I hope to have a better society, because I don't know if I'm going to reincarnate in a world, in a country where I can express myself, have my own conviction, religion conviction. But I know that if all spirits are better, even the ones in other religions will have a better understanding of the love, the justice, the charity we all need to have to each other. So let us work together, young ones, old ones, so that the world can be a nicer look looking world for the next reincarnation we'll have. I don't know, Marcia. I will stop from here. Otherwise, I will keep the 1 hour. I was trying to speed up things.
I know, I know. I think we have several comments and several questions, and we are just at the brink of a few minutes to go over them. Marcial, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a very enlightening conversation about your reflections on the
Yeah,
Spiritist Center of the 21st century. I want to tell everyone, right, that we will have our Q&A session, but real quick, let's go over some announcements. Virtual course, Introduction to Mediumship, a free virtual course for beginners. And please note that the U.S. Spiritist Federation is inviting all of us who are eager to explore the idea, the realm of Spiritist communication according to Spiritism. All right, next one. Podcast like series, Psychology and Spirituality, A Bridge to a Better Life discussion based on the works by Joanna De Angelis. There is a new episode every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And this program is available on YouTube and Spotify. Next one, there is a new book by our wonderful Jusara Korngold. The title is Transcendence, Life in the Hereafter. Love to invite all of you. I already got my copy. And if you are curious about what lies beyond the veil of death, right? A big question for most of us. Just go into get this book and also really understand that this is available at the U.S. Spiritist Federation uh, bookstore. I believe you can get it at spiritistbooks.us. You can, yeah, it's there. We're running, Marcial. The next one is the app, Be My Hope, right? This app is free and it's available on App Store and Google Play, and it offers uplifting content in a collection of videos, daily messages, and audio materials. Please download it now. It really is worth it. And there are, just want to let you know, there are some new interesting audiobooks that, as you can see in the screen, they are free and you can get them all. But as you can see, this is the yin and yang. They're free, but we're here as a nonprofit organization asking if you want to help the U.S. Spirits Federation produce more publications and promote Spiritism for everyone. Scan the QR code on screen for your donation. Ha! We're done. Let's go to our Q&A and
yeah.
let's see what
But
can we get.
Marcia,
Yes, sir.
just before the first question, and because of what you were saying, last week I was discussing with João
Yes.
uh, while he
He's referencing Joan Korngold.
so um, we were discussing that we need more. We, the Spiritist movement
Yeah.
uh, worldwide, we need more and more uh, content in English.
Yes. Yes.
So if be that translations of the books, be them new books,
Yeah.
new audio conferences,
Yeah.
all of that, please do engage with the Spiritist movement. Contribute.
Yes.
It's a way
Yes.
to contribute, and contributing to the U.S. Spiritist Federation is a way to contribute not only for your country, your neighbors, but for the entire world. The entire world nowadays understands English, and
Yes.
we need to work collectively so that we can. I don't like to say the spread the word, like you
Yeah.
know, trying to force others to understand the way we do,
Yeah.
but to leave it as a foundation so that people can go and find the healing power of understanding life
Yeah.
in the way that we do.
And Marcial and all of you here, and I'm just going to give an example of myself and Marcial. We are bound by similar first names, but also by the same
Yes, last name.
language. Yeah, right. By the same language, Portuguese. And there is a blessing into that, the fact that the Spiritist movement just flourished in Brazil specifically. So lots and lots and lots and lots of resources in Portuguese in the most diverse types of resources. Um, but Portuguese, unfortunately, it's a language that is not accessible by many. So the flip side is English, as you mentioned. How can we not only create but translate or be the channel to which we can bring that wonderful message into a much broader audience that speaks
Never,
language,
never,
that language? Yeah,
never
go ahead.
forget, never forget that we understand the new spiritualism
Yes,
by the Fox sister, and to
yes,
have the first university that went to study about the spiritist events was the U.S. university.
yeah.
So although we connect it always to France and to our
Mhm.
beloved Hippolyte Léon Denis Rival, Allan Kardec,
Uh-huh.
um, we know that the basis is also English and
Yeah,
it's multicultural. We need to work all
yeah,
together, and
yeah.
English allows us to do that.
Yeah, and it allows the two, as we started, right, to create this community, this sense of connectedness so that we can collaborate, we can practice charity, we can educate, but also create that sense of solidarity. But I think we're now, let's see, let's get to our first questions or comments. We have here Ryan Edmonds. Hi, Ryan. Thank you for your comment. And he said, school, hospital, temple, just adore that. It's been amazing how Spirit has been holding us up as we pioneer Spiritism in our country. In just a few months, our center is becoming a beacon of hope. I think there's a second one. Question: how do we contact the International Spiritist Council about registering a national federation organization for our country? So, Marcial, why don't you answer that, and I can provide
So,
some information about
so,
also the from my viewpoint in the U.S. Right?
so for the International Spiritist Council is the institution that um, gathers all country uh, representations.
Hmm.
So the United States Spiritist Federation is a member.
Yeah.
So if your institution wants to become together with the ISC, it will come together first with the United States Spiritist Federation, and
No,
we
no, no,
will.
no, no, no. Stop that because Mr. Edmonds is talking to us from Cape Town, South Africa.
Oh,
And oh, yes, and he is interested in founding a center in Cape Town, most beautiful city in the world, by the way. So it's such a delight to hear from you. But go ahead, back to you,
so
Marcial.
if we have a Springbok here listening to us, the best way is to use our website is www say dash so cei dash spiritistcouncil.com,
Mhm.
and there you will have our contacts, or please yeah, you'll have our contacts. Drop us an email. We will analyze it. We will work together with the board of directors of the ISC, and tell everything that is required for you to join the International Spiritist
Uh,
Council.
Yes,
It
I'll
will
I'll
be.
ask our folks. Sorry to interrupt you, Marcial. I will ask our folks from the International Spiritist Council to put that information in the chat. I think they're putting as we speak, and so that We have that. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. But I wanted to maybe take an opportunity here, Marcial, for those of you who have maybe you are in a different country or in a different city and you don't have you're an island, you're a spiritist or you're interested and there's nothing there. And I talk to you because this happened to me after so many years, very much embedded in the spiritist learnings and dissemination, et cetera, in oh over 3 decades in Atlanta. Now I moved to another city, Nashville, in Tennessee, and I looked, and there's nothing.
Still,
Nothing. Yes. Well, not anymore because we created a center. But I just wanted to say, in my personal story of, getting to a center, and a lot of what you said here today just resonated to me particularly. But I wanted to bring to all of you the fact that the both United States Spirits Federation and the International Spiritist Council, oh, they have so many invaluable resources, right? So they can help you not only start a new center, but sustain that center with those resources. And it's really, as I think you mentioned, not only you're doing this to insular to your city, but to the entire movement. So if we're to do a little bit of a breakdown of what they are, and the website is key for you to enter those resources. Thank you. So we have spiritist.us. Let's go ahead and put the spiritist.us for the, sorry, yes, and say, so we got all of those there. But we do have Marcial in all, and I'm speaking more of the United States Spirits Federation website that I'm more familiar. We have educational resources, right? So those education resources range from study materials. They have education programs, right? If you are want to become a leader in create those programs, we have workshops, we have trainings, we have a network of support. We have a list of all the centers in the US that you can just reach out, and their contact information, email, phone number, WhatsApp number, whatever, it's all there. And of course, most importantly, to me at least, is access to a spirit, the amazing spiritist literature and media through their online store, as well as lectures and videos like this one. They will be there. So one more thing that the United States Spirits Federation offers is guidance on how to create your center as a nonprofit organization. You mentioned that before, right? The
course, there
International
are,
Spirit.
in
Yeah, go
terms of,
ahead.
sorry, Marcia, in terms of Ryan and starting it in South Africa, I'm sure
Yeah,
that there will be some specifics to the laws of the country itself.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm sure that working, and this is the beauty of working together.
Yes,
Working together, we are much more resourceful. We can we understand the laws of one place, the laws of the other place. We know
yeah,
we can work together to provide you, um, if not guidance, a full guidance, ideas to point you on the right direction to establish that first center, those first groups of study of spiritism with all the materials that exist in English, in
yeah.
Portuguese, in Spanish, in several
Whatever
languages,
language, yeah,
whatever language you want, and then small groups create a federation becomes a part of say, and the
yeah,
institutions can say ISC. Sorry,
yeah,
we get used to say it in Portuguese. We on ISC have a specific kind of membership, uh,
uh-huh,
like a one step closer to become a federation
yeah,
associated to ISC, which is the observers condition. So you can join and watch our assemblies to see what kind of problems we are dealing with, what kind of issues we want to solve, the ways we are trying to make it a stronger movement, and to join the ISC as a country. South Africa would
Uh-huh.
be another step, another pinpoint in the world map, which would, I'm sure, would bring a lot of um, happiness and
In
comfort.
light, right? In light. I think Ryan mentioned being a beacon of light, and that's exactly what we are. And I think we mentioned a lot of the bureaucratic views, like compliance with the laws, getting your purpose, your mission, etc., etc. Those are in my brain because that's the work that I do. I understand that quite well, but it's really not about that. It's about being that beacon of light, being that. Connecting platform for all of us to connect with our source, with God our Father. Anything else before we move on? I'm just concerned with time. Marcial, there we
Well,
go.
anything. I don't know if there are some questions. I'm Mr. Barros, as compared to Spiritist Centers.
Yeah, let me read that out loud for everyone who does not have access to the screen. Yasko, hi Yasko. Yasko is a good friend. Hi, Mr. Barros. As compared to the Spirit Center activities of the end of 19th century, right, throughout great part of 20th century to the 21st, I feel it is currently more a school than a hospital. And she mentions the ER, right, the emergency room for the souls. Presently, it's more emphasized the scientific and philosophical knowledge than the religious aspects of codification. Do you agree? Yasko, this is a long question for yes, no. So let's do this. Let's do this because we are over our time. Let's go ahead and finalize our question. We have lots and lots of questions. Thank you so much. We're going to answer this, finalize your thoughts, and then I will ask if you could also close us with a prayer. All right? Plan
Okay.
of action. Let's do it.
So Yasko, as telegraphic as I can be on this one. Um, when Spiritist doctrine started, it started as a philosophy and with the basis of a scientific research of the connectivity, the connections between both worlds. So it's philosophical and scientific. That's the aspect which, by understanding our role in the world, makes us become religious. Makes us become religious. So one cannot be truly religious, truly understanding what being connected to God means without knowing, without understanding, without understanding the philosophical part of the doctrine. There's not a spiritism of philosophers. There's not a spiritism of scientific people. There's Spiritism is philosophical, scientific, and religious because all together makes us grow as integral people, like a whole. There's no, I will grow a wing on one side and I forget the other two sides. No, we need to understand. It's like we go through our pains
Mhm.
more easily if we understand why they happen and what we can do with those pains to enlighten ourselves. So this is why sometimes it may seem that Spiritist centers nowadays become more philosophical and scientific, even because being when we become only religious, we become mystical. and that Spiritism cannot cope with.
That's a very good point. And I would just say before I ask you to close with a prayer, Marcial and Yasko and all of us, I can see Yasko's thought process, right? Especially in the online world, the virtual world, we end up doing more knowledge, massaging information, content, than actually giving that welcoming embrace that Marcial mentioned earlier in his talk. But I do believe this is important as a very distracted world that we are. Right, there's so much content coming in. It's easy for us to dumb down, and forgive me for those words, but dumb it down to the least common denominator, and not understanding the depth of what Spiritism brings to us. So those teachings, those learnings really helps us better be prepared to do the actual welcoming and consoling that we talked about. Marcial, back to you. Can you do a prayer, please? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I forgot. Before we do a prayer, if you don't mind, this is oh my goodness. This is a fast pace time together, and I'm all out of sync. Apologies, everyone. But we're here today, right? And as we continue our Spiritist Talk series, I just wanted to invite all of you to come next week at the same time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where Vicente Pessoa, love Vicente, good to have him back, who will speak about children who remember past lives, right? So, with that, Marcial, please let's do a prayer. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us and for watching our live talk today.
Okay, so let us all um, make our thoughts together towards that image of Jesus himself, that our souls can connect to the spiritual benefactors around us, so that we can understand our role in this world as human beings, with the responsibility of being able to have learned what Spiritism has brought to us, the work of all those spirits, with with Allan Kardec paved the way so that we can understand it better. The words of Jesus, understand better the laws that Jesus told us about that rule the entire world, those laws that God Himself applies to every single one of us. That by understanding those laws, we can harmonize our will towards them. And so we can become a member of society, knowledgeable of the path we need to go to become better spirits, to become helpful to that better society, to become a better world.